Shapiro. Hey, Adam. Oh, wow, you get quite a crowd around you.
Oh, yeah, there's probably, 4,000 people here. It's like what we saw in St. Augustine, Trish. And you can see, let me just point you right up to the podium where Mr. Trump will speak at about 3 o'clock this afternoon. This crowd has been standing in the hot Florida sun for several hours. And they're still coming in here. And they want to hear Mr. Trump's message about restoring the economy, talking about the failures of Obamacare. These are die-hard Mr. Trump supporters.
What are they telling you is the most important thing to them? I mean, we've heard certainly in the polls that the economy matters, national security matters, but there's a kind of fanaticism there, if you would, for thousands of people that are pouring in to this arena to hear him. What do they tell you matters the most?
It depends who you ask. I was talking to a woman earlier, Elizabeth Vaughn, who's furious with Obamacare. Her husband has cancer, and he's lost his insurance twice here in Florida because of Obamacare. And she was telling me the poor man is going through chemotherapy and has to find insurance again. For her, that's the most important issue. Real quick, I just wanted to, Penny, come here a second. This woman named Penny, and I was just asked, Trish Regan from Fox Business Network, wants to know, what's the most important issue for you, very quickly?
Well, vigorance, power, let him go after the bad people. Everybody says that he's so bad and everything, but let him use all that energy and all that forwardness and aggressiveness and get our enemy. My best thing is for him to take care of our insurance, take care of that wall, and take...
You want the wall built, and you want security for the United States.
Security, and I don't want
bringing
all those people in there after our children, our daughters, and
Penny, thank you. So, you'll see people here who are strong on the issues of immigration and want the wall built. It depends who you ask. You got people who believe that only Mr. Trump can actually restore the economy to what it should be, Trish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess something for everyone. But there's a commonality there, if you would, Adam, in security. And whether it's security on the border, whether it's security internationally, or whether it's economic security, this all, I think, is tapping into one central theme.
Yeah, the security issue is a big issue, and Mr. Trump definitely talks about that, whether it's the threat posed by Islamic terrorists with ISIS or whether it's disrespect for law enforcement. Those are the issues that he talks about and he will talk about. Again, I just want to show you, that's the podium. He'll be there, and I apologize because they're praying right now, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but he's going to be coming off the airplane from that, right there, and those are the issues he's going to talk about.
All right, thank you very much, Adam. We'll keep checking back in with you. All right, joining me right now with more is Steve Moore. He's a Trump economic advisor. Also, Neil Schroka from Democracy for America. And Steve, I want to start with you because I think one of the most amazing things here is that despite all the heat from the left, despite all the negative headlines out of the mainstream media, what we're seeing is that Trump is still fighting. And, we saw that poll out of Arizona where he's now ahead by a point. You see the national poll where he's just 5 points behind, so he's closing the gap. What does that tell you, Steve, given the media environment we're in? What does it tell you about where we are as a country and how frustrated and concerned people are?
Well, I think it tells you a couple of things. I mean, first of all, by the way, the media obviously has had an avalanche of negative stories about Donald Trump, but Trump has had a bad 3 weeks himself. He just hasn't performed well. But I think what it tells you, even after these lousy 3 weeks, that he's still within 4 or 5 points of Hillary, is that she's a pretty lousy candidate, too. And she hasn't been able to really make the sale.
But does it tell you something more? I mean, I look at this and I look at it and say, things are pretty bad. People are saying, okay, I don't care, if he assaulted women, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Because the only thing that matters to me is my economic future, my children's economic future, my security, their security. And what kind of state are we in as a nation where it has been eroded to this point? What kind of irresponsibility has happened over the last 8 years with our economy and our security that, people, they'll forgive anything because they want change.
Well, what's really frustrated me the most about the last 3 weeks is we've talked about everything but those issues, right, Trish? Yeah. We haven't talked about the economy and taxes and what we're going to do about energy policy. We haven't talked about national security because we've got all of these sideshows out there, and that's disappointing because you're right. All those people there in Florida, I've been traveling around with Mr. Trump. They want to hear about what you're going to do to get jobs back in this country.
No, that's the stuff that matters. And you're shaking your head there as though you're in disgust, but I mean, this is the reality. No matter where I go right now in the country, I hear a
Trish.
common theme, and it's that people are worried about the future and they do not believe that she can solve it. I mean, here he is hanging on by a thread despite all the faux pas, and it's because of this basic concern, Neil.
Listen, Trish, you were just talking about how Donald Trump is up by a single point in Arizona. 4 years ago, Mitt Romney won that state by 9 points. Nationally, he's at 5. Hillary Clinton is beating him by 5 percentage points. If she continues to hold that lead, it would be a historic win nationally.
No. Neil, what I'm saying is,
we're
look,
poised to do
he's
well in
had
this
a rough 3
election, but we
weeks.
got to get every vote out.
He's had
What's
a
that?
rough 3 weeks. He's getting attacked left and right in the media nonstop. And you know what? I talk to people who say, I don't care. I don't care what he did. Because you know what? I believe in his policies. And that's ultimately what I'm voting on. And you've got a lot of people, Neil, that feel very strongly about that. So what does that tell you about the current state of our economy? Heck, you used to support Bernie Sanders.
Listen, I think what it says is that, millions of people think we're on the right track, and that's why Hillary Clinton is leading this race by 5 points. That's where we are. Listen, either that or Donald Trump is wholly unable to be an effective leader. The fact that he's losing this race by the percentage points he's losing right now suggests that millions of people just don't think he's fit to be president.
You got millions of people that do, though. Millions of people that do. And we're going to talk some more about it. Thank you, Neil and Steve. Stay with me. I want to get to this other story right now because we've got bombshell revelations today. A fresh batch of emails from